Welcome back to JCE Connect. In this class, we'll see a concept of cell search. Before this, we'll define what do you mean by cell search. Okay. In wireless communication, as we know, there's a wireless communication between mobile phone and the tower. We call it the E node B in LTE. Since when the user is in a cell, it catches a signal from the corresponding antenna. Okay, that is, when it is powered on, means when the mobile phone, that is a user equipment, when it enters in a cell, it requires to access, okay, the time and frequency in which it belongs to, and the cell detect the in which physical layer cell ID of that cell through the cell search procedure for synchronization procedure. Okay, now here the cell will be organized, okay, in a dense way, and each cell is given with a unique ID. Okay, let us take that there are like a cells are given like this, okay, like this, likewise each cell will be given with a unique number ID. We call it as a cell ID. If your mobile will be entered in a one particular cell, it will try to identify the cell ID, which cell it belongs to. Okay, there is it will be the automatic process in which it will detect the ID of the cell and what is the frequency it belongs to the corresponding cell, and it will detect how much time it will take to reach to the station. All information will be calculated in the physical layer. Okay, that is, during cell search, different types of information need to be identified by user equipment, including symbol, okay, that is what frame timing, how much time it will take. Okay, like you can consider, okay, if you are near to the like a base station, okay, means the less timing. If you are going far away from the base station, then the time will be increasing, and the which frequency it belongs to. The frequency at each cell will be different. Okay, that is what frame timing, frequency, cell identification. As I told, ID of the cell, the number belongs to the each cell. Transmission bandwidth, what is the bandwidth frequency is allocated, and the configured antenna, and the cyclic prefix length. As we know that we are working for the orthogonal frequency division multiplexing, since cyclic prefix is required to do the operations. Okay, this is what the hierarchical search scheme, okay, how it will be systematically followed. We'll see one by one with a block. The first step, detection of symbol timing, frequency offset, and cell ID index. It is given with NID, okay, raised to 2. The next step, detection of frame timing and cell ID group index. What is the group index? It is allocated. And detection of other system information from PBCH. We'll see one by one. Now, the cell ID group, if I say NID 2, if I say there is a NID 2, okay, means there is like in bracket, if I take a 2, there are the 3 cells, means it will be given like this, 1, 2, and 3. Let us take that here the frequency will be F1, F2, and F3. Okay, now this will be getting increased, means it will be we call this will be like a one cluster. If I take this is one more cell, the same frequency will be repeated, F1, F2, F3. What frequency I have to use here? F3, sorry, F2. Now what frequency I have to use here? F1. What frequency I have to use here? F1. What frequency? F2. Okay, now basically which is a configured cell, a cell cluster is a 3, means we are using with the 0, 1, 2. Okay, so each will be cell will be, okay, there's a different number will be given for each cell, okay, as a user will be processing. Okay. Now secondary synchronization signal carrying, okay, that is what signal carrying physical layer cell ID for the group. In fact, for the group of like a cell, it will be given with NID with a N from 0 to 167. Okay. The cell ID, okay, is determined by NID is equal to 3 into NID raised to 1 plus NID raised to 2. Okay. As you can know, as you may understand from the previous one, NID raised to 1, the value will be between 1 to 0 to 167, any one value, plus, okay, NID raised to 2, okay, as we took it for 3 cells, cluster of 3 cells. All together I'll get here NID cell. This is a format is given by the LTE communication. Okay, that is the step of operation what we have discussed. Okay. In fact, the cell ID what we are given, it is different from WCDMA. The cell search in LTE needs to consider different system bandwidths and different duplex schemes. Okay, that is with TDD and FDD. Okay, the first step from the previous flowchart, the user equipment detects the symbol timing and the cell ID index from the primary synchronization signal. That is what it will detect the time and the frequency. As we know, we use an orthogonal sequence defined for the primary synchronization signal. The cell ID index can be detected by identifying the received sequences. Okay, that is what in the first step, okay, it will identify the timing and the frequency. In the second step, it detects the cell ID group index. Okay, because as we know the previously, I given with like 3 cells in a one cluster. Like this we have a groups. So which group it belongs to the cell. For detecting the frame timing, the pair of secondary synchronization signals in a radio frame has a different structure than the primary synchronization signal. Okay. In the step number 3, user equipment can detect the broadcast channel to obtain other physical layer information, example system bandwidth, because it is a broadcasting information will be transmitted from the base station. It is indicating like every time it is giving the information. Okay, this is the ID. It is every time the paging, we call it a paging or a broadcasting to the corresponding cell, so that ID number will be sent to the mobiles. Okay, and from where these all the information will be transmitted through the MIB block and SIB block. Okay. That is to maintain the uplink intra-cell orthogonality. Uplink transmissions from different user equipment should arrive at the E node B within a cyclic prefix. Okay. That is what how the timing advance will be calculated by using, okay, there's a 0.52, okay, there is a granularity in the step size of a 0.52 microsecond, that is 16 into TS. Okay, in OFDM symbol timing, it can be detected as there are 2 primary synchronization signals transmitted in each frame that are distinguishable, that is frame timing, okay, and frequency. Now sometime in the user equipment detects cell ID group with a NID raised to 1 and the frame timing and synchronization and secondary synchronization signal, NID-1 is detected by identifying the shift in the M sequence in the received signal. That is, in the secondary synchronization signals, D1 and D2, okay, there are the two signals because the secondary synchronized signals defined as D1 or D2 or D2 or D1. Okay. Let us move to the next topic. There is a random access procedure. There are two random access mechanisms, non-synchronized and synchronized. In non-synchronized random access, it is used when user entity uplink has not been time synchronized. That is, your mobile phone in the uplink, it is not time synchronized, or when the UE uplink loses synchronization. Its main purpose is to obtain synchronization of the link to notify that E node B that the UE, okay, has data to transmit or transmit a small amount of control information and data packets. Okay, if there is a synchronization will be lost between your user equipment and the E node B, okay, we call it as a non-synchronized. Okay, in synchronized, it is used when uplink synchronization is present. Okay, both your mobile phone and your E node B both are synchronized. Its main purpose is to request resources for uplink data transmission from the E node B scheduler. Let us take the steps of operation, how it will be performed for non-synchronized random access procedure. It consists of 4 steps between the user equipment and the E node B. The first step, random access preamble. Second one, random access response. Okay, I hope you can see the arrow from user equipment to the E node B, and E node will respond with a random access response. Again, UE will respond with a scheduled retransmission. Again, in the fourth step, contention resolution. We'll see step-by-step operations. Okay. In the first step, it is based on the information obtained from the E node B. Because E node B is every time it is broadcasting the information, the UE randomly selects a random access preamble and transmits on the physical channel. Since the processing of random access channel and the random access preamble, okay, through the PRACH. Okay, means in which the E node B, it calculates the timing correction for the uplink transmission for each UE. Okay, it is getting adjusted for user there is a user equipment. Okay. In the second step, if the random access attempt is detected between the user equipment and the E node B, the E node B transmits the corresponding random access response on the downlink SCH, which obtains, okay, the identity of the detected preamble, the timing correction for uplink transmission, a temporary identity for the transmission for the following steps, in which initial uplink resource grant, random access response, and backoff indicator to instruct the UE to back off for a period of time. In third step, user equipment is uplink synchronized and can transmit additional messages on the schedule ULSCH synchronized signal. This step is to assist contention resolution. Okay, that is, if the user equipment that perform random access attempts in the same time frequency resource use different preambles, and different UE can be identified by the E node B, and there is no collision. If there is a different contention and different preambles, there will no collision will be happening for the user equipments. However, it is possible that multiple UEs select the same preamble, which may causes collision. In order to resolve the contention for access, the UE that detects a random access preamble and transmits a message containing a terminal identity. That is, if the UE is connected to a cell radio network in which we call it as a cell radio network temporary. It is an identifier, means for in which the user equipment is connected to the E node B with a unique we call it as a temporary CRNTI, that is a cell radio network temporary identifier, which will be used which is a unique ID at the cell level, not at the mobile level, because every time you are moving to the different cell, you will find a different ID, but there is a UE ID will be fixed. In the fourth step, contention resolution is a key feature of the random access channel. In this step, E node B transmits the contention resolution message on downlink SCH, which contains the identity of the winning UE, the UE that observes a match between identity and the identity transmitted, that is in the step 3, and declares a success and completes its random access procedure. That is, in the fourth step, it is successfully completed the operation for synchronization. The next here we'll discuss on power control in uplink. It is a conventional power control in the uplink is to achieve the same SINR. There is an interference ratio for different UEs at the base station, also known as full compensation, but it suffers low spectral efficiency as a common SINR and is limited by the cell edge UEs. That is what the conventional control to achieve same SINR means it tried to maintain a same signal ratio at all the equipment. There is a user entities, and it specifies fractional power control FPC as an open loop power control scheme, which allows for full or partial compensation. Basic job of power control is to maintain a same signal strength at the user equipment so that data should not be lost, and maintain same SINR ratio throughout the cell architecture. In this, we'll see a similar power control scheme employing a different FPCs for sounding of a reference signals, wherein which for the intra-cell orthogonality in uplink transmission, it makes the uplink power control less critical in LTE than in WCDMA HSP, that is a high speed network. Therefore, LTE uplink power control is used primarily to control inter-cell interference, which includes an open loop component employing FPC and a closed loop component. In this, it is going to be monitored so that signal strength will be similar. This concludes the today's session. Thank you.